Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Reds fan channel. We are here with Reese and myself, Stu, to go through a little bit of transfer news, a couple of transfer stories that is going on, a little bit of movement around the club as well for this afternoon. So, without further ado, Reese, how are you doing? You're good?
I'm good. I can't complain. Yeah, I'm good. Like I said, excited with the bit of business that we've done so far. Excited for more business. Obviously, hopefully, I think Frimpong announced today. Hopefully, Wirtz gets announced before the end of the weekend. That would be extra nice.
Well, going off the first one, we'll go straight into let's call it the right back situation, as it were. Obviously, it has been announced earlier on today that Real Madrid have secured the services early of Trent by forking out nearly £10 million, which I had to give a little round of applause for Edwards and Richard Hughes on that one. That is a remarkable bit of business, considering the fact he only had a month left on his contract. But hey, we already knew that Madrid wanted him for the Club World Cup competition, so they have to pay the money. It's as simple as that. If they wanted him early, they had to pay the money. And he's also gone around and changed his Instagram bio from Liverpool to Real Madrid as well, which has ruffled a few supporters' feathers I've already seen on social media. At the end of the day, from my perspective now, the decision's been made. He's made the decision. I look back at his time at Liverpool with great fondness. I'm just about to bring in Naj as well. Fluffy Teddy in the background.
Yeah, not my room. I'm housing.
Right. Naj, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Just going over the Trent right back situation. Whole news with that. So again, like I was saying, like the situation with Trent, it stings. Yes, I get that. He's a Scouser through and through, and in my opinion, still a Scouser should never leave unless he has been asked to. And it's a different situation before anybody puts in the comments about Michael Owen or Steve McManaman. Completely different situation. No player should ever leave their hometown club that they support, in my opinion, at all. If they support that club, that is just my opinion alone. But on the flip side of that, I can understand sometimes people do want a new challenge. And at the end of the day, Trent has won everything at Liverpool. So why not want to go for a new challenge? But this is all in the past now. We have to move on. And we have moved on. We have signed, or we're just waiting for this here we go thing to come through today. But it does look more than likely it's going to be Frimpong as the first signing. Naj, what are you thinking of Frimpong then? Good purchase?
Very good. Like I said a few times, like I think, we've obviously relied heavily on Trent's sort of creativity and his passing ability. Like, we all know his strengths lie in going forward and assisting the attack rather than assisting the defence.
Yep.
I think, if you're going to look at anyone in the world, any right back in the world who has them same numbers or similar numbers, it's Frimpong. So I think there's no real. I mean, it is different. Like, we get that it's not as he hasn't got the passing ability of Trent in terms of like the long range and stuff like that. But in terms of him being absolutely electric fast and getting into them areas where, like, we probably need a player there. Like, I think what Slot's sort of looking at is the fact that it's going to free Salah up a little bit more with Frimpong. And I think that is what he's probably going to look at, because obviously we know this season that he's not made Salah track as much, which I'm fine with that.
Look at the season that he's had. Who are we to question on that one?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about optimising the best for the team, though, isn't it? Like, I think that Frimpong, he's got a great character on him as well, which I'm going to have to say, like, that is something that I'm really looking forward to see. You can see when he goes away on international duty, he's always like having a laugh with the Liverpool lads. And, even back to his Celtic days, his interviews were funny, and he just seems like a normal, nice kid. No ego on him, just a nice lad. And I think that's what, I always say that sort of what we look for in a Liverpool player is sort of, Klopp had the no idiot rule, didn't he? You know what I mean? Yeah. I think Frimpong falls under there that category. I mean, look, you can be the best player in the world, but if you've not got the attitude, it's not going to work well. But I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for it just on a few levels, like I say, ability wise, what it's going to be like next season, in terms of like how it's going to free up Salah, how it's going to give us like another way of attacking. And I'm excited to see him get on with the team. I think he'll be completely fine settling in.
Indeed. I totally agree. Thomas Smythe here has put up an interesting little comment saying, would you stay in the same job for 20 years? Well, from my perspective, I have stayed in similar jobs, not quite 20 years, but a very long term in other jobs that I've done before. So I do get it from that perspective. That's why I said, like, I do understand people wanting a new challenge when it came to Trent. As I said, he has won everything at the club. But still, in my mind, as a Liverpool fan, I couldn't do it. I couldn't leave the club that I supported. I think for the last like sort of comment on that is that just best of luck to him. Let's see what happens in the future for him. Football's a funny old game. You never know what's going to happen down the line. And when it comes to Frimpong coming into the team, well, I think he's definitely more of a slot style player at the end of the day. I think he's more pacey, just like Bradley, but I think defensively he'll still get caught out because he likes to place that further forward, but at least he has got the physicality to run back. Whereas Trent never really was blessed with an extreme amount of pace like Bradley. He's a sprinter. Frimpong is a sprinter. So at least they can cover the ground a little bit more. Reece, I don't know whether you agree with that one or not, but whether you've seen that Frimpong.
I think Frimpong's rapid, but I think Trent was fast as well. I just don't think when he wanted to run, he could run. It's just he's more lazy. He didn't really want to. But I'd say, Frimpong probably wins in that department with the speed. That's probably one of his best attributes.
Yeah, I'd probably go along with that. But as I say, we are still waiting for that little here we go. I keep on rapidly refreshing my Twitter feed. Sorry, X. I'm never going to get used to calling it that.
It's still Twitter.
It's still Twitter. I don't care what anyone says. It's still Twitter. As simple as that. So we still haven't got a here we go fully from that. But hang on. We have just had something come through about Wirtz. It's looking like the initial bid was over 100 million with add-ons. And Wirtz is ready to actually fly across for his medical. That sounds serious and looks like it could almost be done. I know there's been some haggling with the transfer fees.
Who's the source who just put that and posted that?
Ketchup.
That's come off Romano's Instagram.
Okay.
I thought it was ketchup sauce. I seen some on my phone and I looked at his Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, Wirtz is going for his medical right this second." And I looked at his Twitter and I was like, "Lad, chatting absolute crap."
This has come out of, I think, Romano's Instagram account, possibly. But either way, I know like sort of Leverkusen were looking for about 150 million euros, but Liverpool I don't think wanted to pay that much, and they've met somewhere in the middle.
I think it was I was reading last night that the initial bid we put in was 83.5 million up front, and then I think what Leverkusen want is 100 million pounds up front, and then add-ons. So I think what must have happened is we've given the extra 18 whatever million it is, 17.5 million up front, and then I think the add-ons. I think there'll be 120 million by the time it's done.
I kind of had in mind between 120 and 130, somewhere round about that. That's what I was thinking initially for the deal anyway. I thought 150 million was just that little bit too much, but somewhere in between the middle, I think would have worked a little bit better. And it is looking more and more likely that way. But again, still no official here we go because we're just waiting a little bit. But, what day we're on today? We're on Friday today. It's the 1st of June on Sunday. Transfer window opens then. So we may get both of them through the door. Possibly Kirkes as well in this first transfer window.
Yeah.
Reece, what do you think about Kirkes coming in?
That was my first choice.
Was he your first choice, was he?
Yeah, I want Kirkes. That was my first choice, ideally. Still Prem proven. Similar kind of player to Robinson from what it looks like.
Yeah.
I know,
Just not as old.
yeah, young in his prime. Good going forward, good defensively. I know not everyone rates him. Some people don't rate him defensively, but I think good player.
I think
Makes
you
sense.
got to take into account his age as well. He's only
Yeah.
22.
All of the ones we're going for at the minute is 22, 23, 24. But we've always kind of gone for that age, kind of future-proofing sort of thing. So
Yeah. And also before carry on, I have got a question to ask you guys about the transfers, but just going over another little bit of news as well that came out about an hour ago is that coach Johnny Heitinger has actually left Liverpool now and is going on to be the head coach at Ajax. So best of luck to him. Thank you very much for the one season that you put in with us, but my word, what a season it has been. So can't thank you more than that, really, to be fair. But the question I've got for both of you guys, and I'm going to go to Naj first with this, and then Reese. Looking like we're going to get the here we go for Frimpong, Wirtz, and Kirkes. Obviously, we still have a couple of gaps that we need to fill in with the squad. Left wing, DM, striker, in my mind, I think are three positions. Maybe an alternate winger that can play left and right hand side, a DM and a striker, something along those lines. Who do you think are going to be the most likely, looking at the various transfer rumours and things that have been coming out over the last few days?
Yeah, I said this last night. I don't think we're going to sign a midfielder. I think it'll be Bajcetic should be rotated next year.
Oh, yeah, I keep on forgetting about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's had I mean, like I said last night, he had like a really difficult start to his loan when he was at Salzburg with Pep Linders. Obviously, he got sacked. But I think that looking at it, like when he went to Las Palmas, like he had such good like top for a lot of things in.
Yeah.
I mean, La Liga's not the Premier League, we know that. But I feel like he's already proven to us though, because he's already had that really good season when we was not very good. You know, he was like one of the best players, which is very telling. You know, he had a serious injury. It looks like he's got behind that. I think he's good in multiple positions. Like, obviously, defensively, he's pretty good. Centre back, DM, centre mid, right back. I feel like the versatility of him and his age, and he won't be on a big contract. I don't think we'll go hunting defensive mid, which I'm okay with that. I think as long as we use him more next season, keep use Endo as well.
Yeah.
Left wing, I don't know. I'm happy. I keep saying this. I'm happy with the left wing position. Like, I think Diaz and Gakpo are fine, like completely fine.
And actually, sorry to interrupt on that, the Diaz thing as well, I think has cooled a little bit because it looks like more than likely it's going to be Rashford that's going there.
Yeah.
So there was really no other suitors for Diaz, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he does get a lot of stick, Diaz. He's just the perfect patch. He'll have like 3 good stints in a season, and he'd be like unbelievable. And he's just in between. He's just not amazing. But yeah, I think the striker's going to be. I think total focus will be on striker after we get Kirk and Frimpong all wrapped up. I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be all focus on strikers. And I don't know. I've seen a lot of things about like Gonzalo Ramos, PSG, don't want him, don't want Ekatike. I don't think one like that. I think it's going to be. I think Slot's going to want to push for a premium.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a project player. I don't think that needs to happen.
No, I've said that previously as well. I don't want a project player. We need somebody to come in and hit the ground running.
Like, I think for me, and I said this more, I think we've all said we've been on together and everything. You know, Isak's unrealistic. We're not going to get Isak. We know that. Alvarez is the one. He's the most suited player to play for Liverpool. Drops it, and he just suits the way we play. And I think, you know, he's proven in the Prem, proven in the Liga. He's 25. He's 26 goals or something this season. Get him. Go and get him now.
Go get him now. Right, Reese, I'll present the same question to yourself. What do you think is going to happen with the DM, winger positions, and strikers?
Midfield, I don't think they're going to get someone. I think it's going to be Bajcetic. That's what I think.
So we're all in agreement that we think the DM is going to be off the list.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him a go and obviously you've got Gravenberch there. I think Szoboszlai will play deeper as well because you're getting Wirtz. So he'll come into the 8 a bit deeper, like how he played against Brian. In terms of Diaz, I think Diaz stays. I think he'll be used more up front in the false 9. And I think Gakpo will be on the left, so that way you'll need someone else on the left. Obviously, Diaz can play left, but I still think we'll get a striker, but say we don't get a striker, I think Diaz will be used in like the false 9 kind of thing. But
Yeah.
Obviously, you've had interest for that Bayern are interested in Gakpo. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's just like rumours. But I still think we'd need a left winger unless we bought a striker. Obviously, the striker area looks like Ekatike. I don't really want him. I think the market's very. It's not a lot of quality for strikers. There's a few, but like I said, Isak, I don't think it's going to happen because Newcastle got Champions League. So
yeah, it's a
I
tough
don't know if
one.
Liverpool did the weight thing and then get a striker next summer, but I don't think they're going to do that. It's either him or Alvarez. Just because of how we started the market so high, I kind of want to maintain that. I don't want to go and pay 80, 90 million for a mediocre player, another project player. You might have to keep Nunes, and I don't want to keep Nunes. So strikers, maybe, who knows, Edwards or someone, they might pull someone out of the hat that we don't know of. There's a player there, I don't know if he's a striker or is a winger. Is it Fofana? Is it? I don't know.
Oh, Malik Fofana at Lyon, I think.
Is it a wing? Is he a winger? Is it?
He's a winger, yeah.
I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a very good player.
But again, a project player.
I think he's highly rated though. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's one of those ones where when he comes in, he'll be a squad player, obviously at first. You shouldn't have to pay too much for him, I like to think.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, I'd say we're fairly in agreement on that. I think when it comes down to the DM side of things, looking at this, I've just had a quick little look at the data burst of Bajcetic being at Las Palmas compared to, say, the likes of Gravenberch. And the one thing that stands out with Badge is his defensive actions. He gets a lot more stuck in, a lot more. He is a bit more of a defender. But he has played centre-back before, so that's obviously quite natural to his game. So could he be the DM that comes in after, now that he's had, a season's worth of experience, fitness? I suppose Slot's probably going to look at him, I would say, probably pre-season and make a decision whether that's going to be a yay or nay on him. As for the winger-wise, I think with Wirtz coming through the door, and I'll address this comment on here as well from Abdul. Greetings, Abdul. Thank you very much for watching as well. We've just been discussing this, and personally, I think it's all going to be very early next week once the transfer window opens that all three of them will get announced. But I don't think we're going to get another winger because we still have the likes of Ben Doak to come back. And if he stays, I think there is a chance that he could stay. Let's see how he gets on in pre-season. Him and Badge are two players, I think, to watch out for in pre-season to see how they get on. But the striker situation, like I said, I don't want to fork out 90 million quid on a project player. I think Ekatike is the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And I think Frankfurt are just trying to milk it for as much as they possibly. I personally think Ekatike should stay at Frankfurt for another season to get a bit more experience, because he had a horrid time at PSG where he hardly got any game time. He's had a good season at Frankfurt this season. He had an average season last season. So he needs to build that up more before thinking about a big money move. But we all know how football works and agencies work, and they like to get as much money through the door as possible. Will he end up at Chelsea instead? That's probably more likely.
Please.
Just so we can laugh at Chelsea again for wasting more money. Because I do think it would be a waste of money at that point.
Yeah. I think that's good business, though, for them, but I think that's good.
For Frankfurt, yeah, it'd be great.
No, I mean for Chelsea, I think they're last, isn't it? They're close to...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not a bad signing. But I think Ekatike is going to be one of those that he probably needs another season somewhere, like I say, still at Frankfurt, just to build up that experience. But, like I say, Abdul's put here 86 to 100 million. No chance.
I honestly, I would rather keep, and this, I'm no word of a lie, this is how much I'm not a fan of Ekatike. I think you said he only had an average season last. he's only had a good 6 months this season. He hasn't been good the entire season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really one for like looking at like XG and stuff like that. His XG is appalling if you actually look at it. So the amount of goals he scored, right? He's a Darwin Núñez waiting to happen. That's what I think. I would rather keep Jadon Danns on and develop him than buy Ekitike. And I'm genuinely being serious there, because I think you're just going to go buy a player because hot property at the last minute. Like he was absolutely awful at PSG, and like I just don't think it's not worth spending 80 odd million on a project player when you could probably get Alvarez for like 100 or just a bit less.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. I don't know. I think you might agree with me on that. I just think it's just mental, honestly. It's absolutely crazy.
Reece, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, the price? No, I'm not paying that. No, hell no. Well, that's too much.
I think
I'm trying to pay like 100 million. I want someone like Alvarez or Issa. I don't want a player who's not ready now. I want a player who's ready, who's playing at the peak of his powers right now. Who's going to come in and continue to help us try and retain the league, win some more leagues. Not a player who needs time. I've done this with Núñez, and it was like getting blood out of a stone. So I don't want that again. No.
Well, I can't argue with your points on strikers wise. I'll say Ekitike, I think he needs a couple more years, build up, bit more experience. I mean, there is the other option of Gyökeres at Sporting, but I don't think he's maybe not the right style of striker that he wants for the system. Sechko, I don't think is the right style either. I think he could potentially end up being another Núñez as well, which actually brings it down to 2 strikers left, Alvarez being one, and his data is ridiculous this season. His pizza chart, or sorry, his diagram is all over, and it pretty much covers every other striker in Europe. His output has been crazy. But there is one striker at Porto that I did wonder might be an outside chance, and that's Omarodion. I think, again, though, the only downside to that is he's 21, so it'll be another project.
Yeah, he wouldn't come in and lead the line. He'll be a squad player.
So that, again, really does leave it down to pretty much, if we're looking for an experienced striker in Europe to come into the side, it's either Gyökeres or Alvarez. Those two. They're both mid-20s, coming into their prime. One side of things would look at it and go, okay, Gyökeres has had nearly an 80 GA season at Sporting Lisbon. Scored like, I think, what was it, 53 goals this season or something silly like that? But that's in the Portuguese league. Yeah. Whereas Alvarez has had nearly a European Player of the Year season in Spain with Atletico Madrid, who finished 3rd in the league. To put in that sort of production for a season,
that's pretty impressive. Been very poor this season as well, Atletico. He's probably he's been their best player. There's Griezmann's been off it, miles off it.
Yeah.
I think without Alvarez, I don't think they even got some of his goals in big games as well. I don't think they even got 3rd if you went for him. But I mean, he's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm so set on wanting to get him because I just look at him and he just looks like a Liverpool player.
You're destined for your heartbreaker.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to end up there. But,
oh man,
he just shoots us. He just shoots the way we play. Hopefully, McAllister gets in his ear and starts getting him to come over.
Oh yeah. Little comments come up here from Tador Al Nasir. Want Luis Diaz? All right, okay. Saudis are coming shopping, maybe. Right, okay. Omarodion is a good player. I go through it. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, but again, with Omarodion, the reason why I mentioned him is he is another project player. He's an absolute beast of a striker. But again, and like Ekitike, I think maybe he needs another season in Portugal, like Ekitike needs another season in Germany. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what that.
Here's a question for you both. And I was thinking this just then. I was thinking of that, are we going to wait till reset? Are we going to wait till next season? I think that might be a possibility. I don't think we will, but it could be a possibility. We don't get our target. So there's a few good strikers going out on free at the minute. one of them's Jonathan David. Would you take him for a season? And then,
yeah, as a freebie.
Is that on a
done a
free?
free.
Yeah, I would actually as a free. It's a no-brainer in business terms, and he's a really good striker. He knows where the back of the net is. So, yeah, he might not be like a superstar signing, but when it comes down to business, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually did put in a contract offer for him, because he does put in the numbers. I mean, at least, do you agree with that one at all? Or, I don't know whether you know anything about him or.
I don't rate him highly, but I think on a free that would be good business. See what happens in the season. If you don't really move us or do much, then you can move him on next season. But yeah, in terms of opportunity and how we like to operate, makes sense because he's on a free. So kind of. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, guys. Do you want a little laugh? This has just made me smile. You know, Manchester United are on their little Asia tour at the moment.
Yeah.
And they lost their first game.
Go on.
Yeah, they've just gone 1-0 down again.
Lovely. I got a teammate on anyway. That's great stuff.
But also another little tiny bit of breaking news on the Wirtz deal. By the looks of it, the add-ons and the payment structure are still being negotiated, but it looks like it's going to be finalised with a deal totaling up to 130 million euros.
So how much is that English? Is that like
about 120 and 118.
120, 125.
Oh yeah.
Like so it's more likely going to be a flat-out fee of like between 90 and 100 million, and then add-ons after that. So I think by the looks of it, next week we'll have that done and dusted. Maybe even over the weekend.
Look, I mean, it's a lot of money, but he's worth it, isn't he? Like, he's Bundesliga player of the season, 2 years on the bounce. Like,
for me,
worth it.
He's worth it, and I think he will be here for a few seasons. And when he does decide to move on, I think we'll easily make our money back, if not more.
That's got to be at least a 5 to 6 year contract as well. So that would tell that contract would probably take him into his prime, because he's 22 now, 27, 28. So if you get him on another contract, say when he turns 25, 26, there's no reason to say that we can't keep him until he's in his 30s, if everything works out properly. But we'll leave it on that nice note, because we're coming to the half-hour mark almost, and that was a good little chat. No, here we go just yet, but things are heating up quite nicely for the transfer window ready to open on the 1st of June. Thank you very much to Reese and Naj for joining us on the stream today. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much. See you later.